You're crazy.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to an amazing episode of the Viall Files Ask Nick edition. I'm your host, Nick, joined by the all-star team of Amanda, Chrissy, and Allie, and we are here to bring you the best in relationship advice across the internet, and we can't thank our callers enough, and we have another great lineup of vulnerable people calling in to share their stories and listen to me tell them how to fix all their problems. You can't imagine a better combination, so thanks for choosing us, whether it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. If you are joining us on Monday, hey, Bachelorette is back, baby. We are back with recapping the Bachelorette KD's edition of this season. It should be wild. It's going to be a lot of new stuff. Spoiler alert, yours truly makes an appearance on the on one of the episodes just to help. Not
Do you know what episode you're in? If it's early or late?
Well, we'll keep them guessing. We also have Nikki Glazer with us this week as well. Friend of the Viall Files for another high quality, fun, funny, interesting, deep dive with Nikki Glazer. So as always, we are back 3 episodes a week. Thanks for choosing us. The show is gonna get better and better. We want to welcome our kind of new listeners from the TikTok community. We know many of you have found our page, and we can't thank you enough. Be sure to tell all your friends about us. Honestly, the best thing you can do for us is when I'm rambling on TikTok, just share it with like 10 people, because apparently TikTok rewards people when you share, and then you just spread the word, and it's like, it means a lot to me. And I just want to say thank you for everyone for joining our community. If there's nothing else, let's just get to our callers. And again, if you are a Bachelor fan, be sure to check us out, because we have all the best hot takes from someone who's been in every role that you could possibly be in that goddamn crazy show. I know what's going on.
Except one role.
The winner. I haven't won. But I was engaged to a winner. Thanks for listening, guys. And let's just get to our callers.
Question time with Nick. Let's ask Nick your sexy questions.
How's it going?
Hi, my name is Erin. I'm good. How are you?
Good. How old are you, Erin?
I'm 29 years old.
Great. How can I help?
So I wanted to come to you today about this because it's a tricky situation that I've been in for some time, and it involves a kind of high-profile public figure. So for this reason, I'm going to keep him anonymous.
Great.
However, I want to hear your side of it. I think that, someone like you would be able to give the inside, scoop about this, perhaps. So I met this man 5 years ago. He was someone that I had been looking up to in his industry because I was working in the same. So I kind of idolized him. He was someone that I wanted to meet, and I got the opportunity to do so. So I introduced myself to him. I gave him my business card, and he wrote me couple days later. So at the time I was totally thrilled. I mean, this guy was top in his game. He's really well known. And at the time I met him, I was with my ex. So I didn't think anything of it. Like, it was innocent, at least from my side.
So at the time you met him, you had a boyfriend?
Yeah, I had a boyfriend. Actually, I met him with my boyfriend. I went to specifically meet this guy because I knew that he was going to be at this location, and we had a business together, me and my ex, that related with his.
Okay.
So this man that I met, he wrote me and asked some questions about the business that we were doing, and said that he wanted to send me his book. He wanted to send me some merchandise. So he did. Again, everything was just platonic, and I just kept it going because I thought he would be a good contact to have. And that just went on for years. He would message me periodically, and it just kind of blew my mind. Like, why is this guy thinking about me? I mean, maybe he's really into me. Like, means
So
he
these
doesn't need some.
messages he sent, like, did they escalate? And was it still like about books and business, or was he asking about your personal life? Was he sharing anything with you about how he felt for you, or was it still like friendly and professional and like
It
what?
always remained friendly and professional. Like, while he knew that I was in a relationship, he
Okay.
would just pop up and say, like, hey, hope your year is going well. I'm doing this and that. He would ask some questions. It never led anywhere inappropriate, except for maybe a few times when he kind of hinted, like, hey, I'm in so and so city. I saw that you were there. Like, do you want to meet for a beer?
And you had a
And I
boyfriend
would,
at the time?
I did.
Okay.
And he knew that, but he didn't care. I mean,
No, sure. I mean, like most people,
he,
yeah. What did your
yeah,
boyfriend know that this guy was periodically reaching out to you?
yeah, he did. But like I said, we were in the same industry with this guy. So for us, it was just kind of like, yeah, message him.
But even as it escalated and started to get more random and
So eventually, I mean, this lasted for years, like 5 years. Just
Sure.
periodically, he would pop in.
Okay.
And only up until November 2020, that's when he messaged that he was single and, looking to see if I was as well. I had been single for already 1 year before that. So for me, it was like, oh, this is great timing. We're finally both single. Let's, start to get to know each other better. So
Let me ask you this:
Yeah.
when he reached out to you, being like, "Hey, I'm single. Are you single?" Sounds like
Yeah.
there was a level of excitement you had, but I'm
Oh,
curious
yeah.
when in that moment, if you could go back and think, were you totally shocked, or were you kind of you were both you were excited, but like, were you
Yeah.
totally blown away?
Absolutely not. I
Okay.
mean, this guy, he had been popping up, sometimes
Yeah.
reacting to stories or just
So it
like
kind of
making
made
little
sense.
comments.
Yeah. Okay.
It made sense, I felt like maybe I was on his roster.
Yeah.
I mean, comes at no surprise. This guy, he's traveled the world. He knows lots of people. He's single now. He was married though with kids. Going through the divorce. I mean, I knew that, okay, I'm so excited that maybe I have a chance with this guy, but at the same time, like recently divorced guy is probably not looking to get into a serious relationship right afterwards, right?
No,
But
yeah.
anyway,
But anyway, you
I-
said the excitement of him
Yeah.
liking you won over
Yeah.
in your mind versus the hesitance that you had, right?
Yeah, 100%. Like,
And you were
any of
how old
the
around
red-
this time?
I was 28.
Okay.
So this was very recently. The communication was good. We were talking every day. He was sending me like personal videos, like, hope your day is going well. I'm thinking about you in this place or that place, whatever. But then communication after like a month or two started to trail off a little bit, which is totally normal, long distance. We weren't in a serious relationship or anything. After some time, I just thought, okay, he's definitely seeing other girls. He's seeing other women. That's fine. We're not in a relationship. Like, if I had an opportunity to date someone else, I would too. However, I was so stuck on him, like I wasn't even looking for anyone else. Eventually, I see that he's starting to follow a lot of girls on Instagram, which wasn't really like him because he always stuck to the brand. He didn't follow people that were kind of out of his industry or show anything that was, I don't know, just, I guess, showing his personal life. And I noticed every day another girl that he was following.
Okay.
And these were all of those red flags started to come in for me. And I thought, okay, he's, single, he's doing his thing. That's fine. But I was still getting hurt. Like, I still felt,
Okay.
I don't know, just, I wasn't getting the attention that I wanted. And I just thought that this wasn't going in the direction I wanted to. So I started to back away from him. And then, his birthday came around, which happened a couple weeks ago. I sent him a birthday message. He didn't even open it. He didn't respond for like 1 week. And during this time, I saw that in the news, there were a lot of sexual allegations going on in the industry that he works in, and a lot of CEOs that like had different breweries were stepping down as CEO because they were having so many allegations against them that they had no choice but to step down. So I was just waiting around to see if any stories would pop up about him. And there were a few just about how he has like, you know, sexual misconduct. He sleeps with some of the employees. He slept with a young girl like the day after his wife gave birth. And all of those things just didn't really come as a shock to me, but it just showed why he just kind of went completely silent. Like didn't even open my message, unfollowed all of those girls that he recently started to follow on Instagram, and stopped posting any stories, which is so unlike him because he's like the most self-promoting person that I know. And so I did a little bit of investigating, and I contacted one girl that she was following him a couple years ago and then followed me. So I followed her back, and she's from his country. So she posted a story about what was going on in the industry. So I commented on it, like, do you have any stories? And she was like, yeah, I do. I'm like, okay, I kind of have 1, 2, like something. And so I asked her if I could give her a call. It comes out that it was the same guy. And that he was also dating other women too, which comes as no surprise again, but then did some more digging and found out that he had flown to go and meet a newly turned 18-year-old girl that's 20 years younger than him. I mean, she just turned 18 and he went and met her. So this for me started to show that he might be hiding something. Why did he unfollow all of those girls? Why did he become silent on social media? Why did he not open up my message? Like, is he freaking out behind the scenes right now with a bunch of lawyers trying to scramble how they're going to fix this PR situation, right?
We might be getting outside more and more, people, but we're still spending a majority of our time at home, sleeping in bed and trying to be comfortable. So make your home as comfortable as possible. And you can do that very affordably with Brooklinen. You know I love my Brooklinen. It's decked all over my place. My hand towels, my robes, my loungewear. It's all glorious, and it's amazing on my body. Again, it's the 8th wonder of the world. Brooklinen, that's right. Every day I start my day getting out of my Brooklinen sheets, and I get out of my shower with my Brooklinen towels. It's truly great, and you can have it too at a very reasonable price. Just go to brooklinen.com and enter promo code VIALL. Over 75,000 5-star reviews. I mean, as great as this podcast is, we don't have 75,000 star reviews, but Brooklinen does. Could you imagine that Brooklinen is even better than this podcast? I couldn't, but truly, I guess it is. So give yourself comfort fresh that you deserve and get it for less at brooklinen.com. Go to brooklinen.com and use promo code VIALL for $20 off with a minimum purchase of $100 more. Truly, it's so amazing. You should pay them $20 extra just to get Brooklinen, but you don't have to. They'll give you $20 back. $100 minimum purchase for $20 off. That is brooklinen.com. Promo code VIALL. That's brooklinen.com, promo code VIALL. Outdoor. Hey, get outside and comfortable with Article's newest outdoor looks. That is right. Article is the easiest way to make your space look beautiful. Article combines the curation of a boutique furniture store with the comfort and simplicity of online shopping. I love my Article furniture because you know what? It's stylish, it's comfortable, it was easy to buy, and incredibly affordable. Durable too. Inspired by a variety of modern design aesthetics like mid-century Scandinavian and industrial and bohemian, fair prices that you can save up to 30% over traditional retail prices, Article is able to keep their prices low by cutting out the middleman and selling directly to you. No showrooms, no salespeople, no retail markups. Fast, affordable shipping is available across the U.S. and Canada and is free on orders of $999 or over. Article is offering our listeners $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more. Go to article.com/VIALL and the discount will be automatically applied at checkout. That's article.com/VIALL to get $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more.
It just keeps going like that. Like, they're not acknowledging it. His brand is saying nothing. He's been silent. And I can just see all of the girls and women behind the scenes that have just fallen for the same thing. And what worries me, I mean, yeah, I got a little bit hurt in my situation with him, but now I just see this pattern has been going on for a long time. And if it happened to me, it would happen with 100 other girls. I don't know.
Okay.
So I guess what I wanted to ask was, should I just see if things start to unfold or try and call him out on it some way?
I think you should let him go and move on.
Let him go.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, listen, he clearly sucks. He's a bad guy. And, the just turned 18-year-old is creepy and gross. And
it is.
And he lies, manipulates. He sounds like this powerful, successful guy who's obsessed with his own success and power, and looks like he abuses that power to get what he wants. But unfortunately, there's a lot of people out there who are like that, and that sucks. And when when it's appropriate or it's right, it's good to try to hold these people accountable when it makes sense. But like, you're not really in the picture here.
I know.
I think you're kind of obsessed with this situation, and you're kind of obsessed with him.
It's interesting. I think I was. I
think you still are. You might not be obsessed with him, and I think you recognize, I don't think it doesn't sound like you're pining to have him as a lover or romantic interest, but I think you're still obsessed with him in the situation. For example, like, I have no idea who my girlfriend follows. I've never looked.
Right. Okay.
You seem to be paying very close attention to someone you're not even dating. You're very in tuned. You're very curious.
Yeah.
By your own admission, this is someone you were a fan of, right? Who gave you validation and made you feel important. And listen, like, in your world, he's a bit of a celebrity, right? And you admired him and looked up to him, and then he gave you attention, and that made you feel good, and all this. But every step along the way, by your story, you were self-aware. You saw the red flags. You knew that maybe he was a little shady, and you kept choosing
to engage with him.
You kept choosing how good it made you feel that he was giving you attention, even though every step along the way in your story, you kept recognizing this guy probably sucks. He probably is doing this, but you were just like, but it still feels really good. I still love it.
It still was exciting.
Yeah, totally.
I liked it when his messages would pop up. I'm not like
100%. In general, is it safe to say that when it comes to men, that you're attracted to a guy, you're attracted to success and power, which a lot of women and even men, I'm attracted to successful, powerful women, right? And power and success, it can vary and mean different things to different people, but that's something you're attracted to. And then you came across this guy by, but that, a lot of people would define as successful and certainly powerful, and you were enamored by that, and you were attracted to that. And so I think you need to take some ownership of the choices you made along the way to keep choosing the excitement and the validation over what you knew deep down to be true all along, right?
Look, I totally agree, and that's why I'm not saying that he did anything bad to me.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I'm not saying you are, but like, I think right now there's a little bit of like,
what do I do? Like,
what do you do? But only that, but like, almost a little like you should have known better. Do you find yourself judging yourself a little bit, looking back on some of these choices?
I just don't like the 18-year-old girl thing. Like that for me was a little bit like, do
you even know who this girl is?
Through association, yes. Because
listen, if you genuinely feel like this young woman her safety is a concern, and you know who she is,
I don't think that I think she's still, from what I know, from what I heard, is that she's still really into him, and that's why she doesn't want to say anything. What was concerning me is the grooming aspect of it. Is he speaking with these girls before 18 years old and kind of waiting for them, kind of how he did with me? Not that I was underage, but waiting it out, kind of.
Yeah, I mean,
keeping that connection going for years until the point where you feel like, okay.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, if he was talking to her like before, while she was underage, and he knew that, like, yeah, that definitely could be some grooming, and that's not okay. I don't think in any way that sounds like the same situation with you. You were a 24-year-old woman, right? And he kept in touch, and even then, like you said, it was professional. And that happens all the time. Like people like meet someone, they have a girlfriend or boyfriend, and like you see them, you're like, oh, I have a crush on this person. You don't say anything, you barely even say anything to yourself, and then you're kind of respectful, but like then you find out they're single and you shoot your shot, right? And that's like it sounds like he did. I mean, he's a dirtball because it sounds like he was married the whole time and he's creepy.
He was, yeah.
So I guess what I'm saying, like, you just got to trust yourself. Like, what are your real motives? If you think that, if you know who this young woman is and you have access to like getting hold of her, and you think that maybe you can share some perspective, then do that, because you might be helping her along the way. And in this specific incident, and you know who this is, then fine, reach out. But I wouldn't make this like, take this like
something that I have to take it upon myself, not
to take him down or talk to all the women he's ever like screwed over or hooked up with.
No, that's not what I want. What I would maybe hope for is that somehow it might warn to, I don't know, underage girls in some way. I have no proof of that.
Exactly.
Again, but for me, it was just, why is he hiding behind the scenes? Why is his brand not acknowledging this at all?
What do you mean? Because he's a powerful guy, and if he is a CEO or a person of influence, like, you know, when you're the CEO of a larger company and you fall under scandal, that hurts more than the person who's in charge. It hurts the stock price, and
it hurts.
And like, you know, like
it's more than him.
Yes, a lot goes into it. So
I think, yes, he definitely owes the people involved an apology. However, the brand doesn't need to be associated with that part of it, but his brand also got a lot of allegations of their own for like their own workplace issues, which they didn't acknowledge that as well. So I'm just saying, like, from also a business standpoint, the fact that he is the top of the game in that industry, and a lot of people look up to you, the fact that you're not even acknowledging that, it just shows that, like, I don't know, maybe you're hype. Yeah. He sucks. He sucks.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's nothing to defend this guy on, right? And he wouldn't be the first highly successful, powerful, wealthy guy who's abused that power and played a lot of people along the way, and it's not okay. Yeah. And I hope he's held accountable, right? It's not your job. You're not a police officer. You're not a superhero. Like, and again, if it makes sense that you, like, again, if you have access to warn people that you know, that I guess you can do that. But like, I think you just need I'm convinced, especially, like, you are obsessed with this situation. And I think you need to try to remove yourself from it. Get this guy out of your life. You know, for the better part of, 6-7 years, in some aspect, he's been involved in your life, and you've been very involved in his day-to-day and what he's doing and what he's posting, and paying attention to what he's posting and paying attention to who he's following. And I think you need to get out of that cycle. And it's really,
look, you're
taking up a lot of your time.
But I will say it did take up my time. It's not currently. Because of all of this being exposed to me, it helped me to see him differently. Okay. And I'm not attracted to him. Like, that has changed for me. It's not about me in this moment.
So can you...
It was about the situation.
So is there anyone that you know for sure that is at risk as a result of him? Yes or no?
Currently, no.
Okay.
No.
So then I think you just need to let it go and move on.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think that's also the conclusion that I was coming to in my mind. There's not much more I can do. I'm not in his country. This was just my experience with the story. So
Yeah. And listen, if he is the dirtball that he probably is and you think he is, usually these things,
Yeah.
like things will come out, you know, eventually. Where there's smoke, there's fire,
Yeah.
right? And it's like, you don't need to be the crime fighter to take him down. It's going to take up too much of your energy. It's a toxic situation and you're involved in it, and you involving yourself in it will only lead to toxic things because it's a toxic situation.
I agree.
And
he
again,
doesn't need
like,
to take up any more of my energy, like
if-
any more of my.
If information
Yeah.
comes your way where you realize that someone is in danger or at risk and you have the means to warn them or warn someone else to warn them, by all means, do the right thing and help them out. But
Yeah.
if you don't have that information, you got to let it go. You know?
Yeah, I agree. I think it did come to that time for me, and just I wanted to talk it out. That's why I didn't want to put anything out there. You know, I wanted to hear it from your perspective because you are in this kind of industry that you're in. So for me, it did bring that closure. The whole story of, being involved with him just by association, even like the past couple of years, and then bringing that chapter to a close now, it just showed me the kind of person that he is. So I don't feel like down the line, oh, I missed out on this great guy that I never got to meet. And I kind of just wanted to see if I was losing something, I guess.
Yeah,
So
clearly
for
you
me,
won't.
it
So-
just showed that I didn't.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then going forward in terms of like, how do you know, I think you wrote in your email, like how you had a
Oh,
quote.
yeah. How to avoid attracting men like this.
Yeah. Well, it's not about you attracting. I mean, certainly guys like him, you know, if he is guilty of grooming, that part of grooming is actually targeting vulnerable, innocent and naive people. Again, you don't sound like you were vulnerable or naive when you met him. You sounded very aware about it. That being said, listen, if you're attracted to someone who's in power, who's successful, then you have to be mindful of that, right? And you have, and people who are in power sometimes can abuse their power, right?
Yeah.
He wouldn't be the first, he won't be the last, right? And that can come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. But you, again, you have to, this is about like trusting yourself and knowing the situation and knowing that, well, listen, you were young and you met this celebrity, but now you've learned that celebrity or not, right?
Yeah.
He can still be a piece of shit. He's just a guy. He's not special. And that's the same with anyone else in power. So power or not, trust their actions. See, observe how they treat people, treat others. People, you know, it's not bad to be a charmer, but like, if you are aware that someone is a charming person, then recognize that they're good at kind of masking some of their things. And quite frankly, it wasn't that good at masking it. You saw the whole time the red flags.
I think it was the coming on strong thing. But the reason why I said, how can I stop attracting this kind of guy? Because successful or not, not the ex that I met him with, but the one after that had similarities. This kind of coming on really strong and then
it works on you. You fall for it.
It
makes you
You
feel
wanna
special
believe
to
that the
somebody.
guy-
Yeah,
right.
because there's a
you
party.
want to believe that the guy you're into is feeling the same way that you are about them. So you believe those things.
Not
and you
only
let it
that, you want to believe that this successful, powerful guy chose you, and he's also the great guy. And so it's that other part of believing that you're good enough to get the prize that everyone else wants, and you think you put him on the pedestal, right? And so that's great. We all want to respect and love the people we with.
Yeah.
We want to be like, oh my God, everyone wants them, but they want
like my
me.
guy's so great,
Yeah.
my girl's so great, of course, because
But
you think they are, but a ton of other
That's
people are
your
as
own
well.
ego. So you have to, start having conversations with yourself. And where does your ego put you at risk of your ego being so much in control that it is silencing your gut and what you know to be right? Like your ego the whole time was winning. Every time you were like, I don't know, like he's probably, your ego's like, shut up. He wants you, and everyone else could and he could have anyone he wants, but he wants you. He's in this moment, he's choosing you. So shut up and enjoy it. So
I know. That's why I'm like, okay, if he wants to come and see me, great. I'm going to wait for it. Like, fine. But I did trust my gut. Like I didn't sleep with this guy because
you still invested a lot of time and energy, and that fine, you didn't sleep with him, and you can feel good about that, but you did invest in him and you gave him a lot of yourself. Right. And you want to avoid doing this in the future. So you just need to be mindful of that and pay attention to that and hold yourself accountable and take your power back, in the sense that, like, it's good to say, I knew better and I chose not to do the thing that I knew better, and next time I'm going to do that. Don't put him more on a pedestal. Be like, well, he was so powerful and so charming, I fell for it. No, you choose. You chose to fall for it. You were very self-aware during this whole thing, and so give yourself the credit you deserve, and know that you made these decisions and you allowed your ego to get what it wanted versus what you knew deep down was the thing that was probably best for you.
Yeah, you're right. I want to avoid that. I can see the signs now. It is a learning experience for me, but I'm just happy that I saw that, okay, he's not this great guy that I thought he was, but be more careful next time, just in general.
I really think you need to try to go, you haven't let this situation go, so unfollow him, whatever notes you have. I wanted to say, lose these numbers. Drop it. Drop the situation. Don't Google them. Don't pay attention to the story. Let it work itself out. It's not your problem anymore. And any involvement you have is just toxic energy that you're investing into this situation. And you might not have slept with him, but you're still giving yourself to him by paying attention to this storyline. Just don't fall for your own bullshit, you know?
Right. Yeah, I know.
All right.
I know.
All right. Well, best of luck.
Right. Thanks a lot. It was nice
care.
talking to you.
You too.
You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
ShipStation. That's right. Help your small business out and your customer satisfaction with ShipStation. For any business, big or small, ShipStation is the best way to ship your products affordably and efficiently. Whether you're shipping USPS, FedEx, UPS, easily compare prices and carriers and choose the best solution every time. Natural Habits use it, my company, every day with ShipStation, and we get the best possible metrics and information about our customers' shipping so that we can meet our customers' demands and we can do it affordably. So if you're shipping anything, really, especially if you have a business outside of your home, get the same prices that Fortune 500 companies get with ShipStation. Just use my offer code VIALL to get 60-day free trial. That's 2 months free of no hassle, stress-free shipping. Just go to ShipStation.com, click on the microphone at the top of the page, and type in VIALL. That is ShipStation.com. Enter offer code VIALL. Make ship happen. I went to Hawaii recently. Maybe you guys didn't know about that, but I'll tell you what, I was climbing rocks. I was surfing. I also was like just beating up my body. My neck was stiff. My shoulders were sore. And I brought my Theragun with me. That's right. And it saved my trip. I was tight. I was uncomfortable after each day, and I loosened up the old body with my Theragun. I didn't have to hire a masseuse. I didn't have to waste hundreds of dollars on doing so. And I didn't have to bother my girlfriend with asking her to rub me. No, I just did it all on my own with Theragun. Their Gen 4 Theragun doesn't just feel good. It is amazing. It gets to the source of the pain by using Theragun's signature percussive therapy, which goes 60% deeper than vibrations alone, and your significant other. Whether you want to treat the muscle tension from working out or an injury or just stress from everyday life, there's no substitute for the Theragun Gen 4. Theragun is trusted by 250 professional sports teams like Real Madrid and athletes like Paul George, DeAndre Hopkins, and Maria Sharapova. And myself, in case you were wondering. Try Theragun for 30 days starting at only $199. That is the price of basically one massage. So go to Theragun.com/VIALL right now and get your Theragun Gen 4 today. That's Theragun.com/VIALL. Theragun.com/VIALL. How's it going?
Hi, my name's Sarah. I'm 27.
Hi, Sarah. How can I help?
So I met this guy last year online. He is a little bit older than me.
What's a little bit?
Like 10 years.
Okay. That's fine.
He took me out on a couple dates, probably like 2 dates. And then after a couple weeks, he kind of ghosted me. Didn't hear from him. I reached out, didn't respond. So then I just like left it alone and just moved on with my life. Started like talking to other people online, going out with other guys. About a month later, he reached out to me and kind of just like acted like nothing really happened, just like was like, hey, what's up? And I didn't respond. I waited a few days, and then he just kept like reaching out, and I responded back. I was like, hey, like super casual. Nothing really happened. And then I just kind of like called him out like one day, and I was like, so like what happened to you the other day? Like you just, I mean, not the other day, but like, you know, a month ago. I was like, what happened? He's like, sorry, just like work was just like so busy. I was in an area with no service because he's a firefighter.
Cell phone reception?
Yeah, so like he's a firefighter, so like he said that he was like out in a fire with no service. So
for a whole month?
Like, yeah, I guess. So I was like, all right, whatever. And I kind of just like left it alone, and I still like just casual talk here and there, but I still like talk to other guys. Like I just left him like on the back burner, kind of just did my own thing. I actually met another guy online and like started talking to that guy, and we were like actually hitting it off. But like the whole time I was hitting it off with that guy, he would like reach out to me like on Snapchat or on Instagram and like just comment on like posts or stories, text me. And I would just ignore him the entire time. Like didn't respond, didn't give him any attention. I was actually kind of into that other guy, so I was like busy with that. Anyways, that other guy ends up like, you know, cheating on me. We cut things off, and I stopped talking to the other guy.
You were like boyfriend and girlfriend.
Well, yeah. Yes, we were. It only lasted like a month and a half. So,
regardless, but you guys defined a relationship, and then he was like, just kidding, I'm gonna have sex with other people.
So that guy cheated on me. So then the guy that I was talking to like called me just randomly one day, and I picked up the phone, and he was like, hey, you know, like I've just been thinking about you nonstop. Like I really like want to just like see what happens and see where this goes. Like I really like you, and I just feel like you've been avoiding me. And I was like, well, yeah, like to be honest with you, like I'm looking for something serious. Like I'm a single mom. I have a daughter. Okay. I'm not trying to like play games. You know, I'm looking for something like long-term marriage material. And he was like, no, like I be honest with you, like I have been like hooking up with other girls and like seeing other women, and I just feel so empty, and I don't want to do that anymore. I want something serious. I want something real. And the only person I could think about doing it with is you. So I was like, okay, so, I mean, we'll give it a shot. Like, we'll take things slow. We started off as friends. We hung out, seeing each other every once in a while. And then we started seeing each other a lot more. In December, he asked me to be his girlfriend. I said yes. He did tell me that like he was going to go on a snowboarding trip starting January, and he was going to be gone for 6 weeks. And I was like, all right, cool. Anyways, he goes on his trip, talks to me the entire trip, calls me, FaceTimes me, texts me every single day, sends me pictures, blah, blah, blah. Gets back from his trip. We see each other, you know, hanging out, introduces me to all his friends when he gets back. We hang out with his friends, and then just randomly like starts getting weird with me one day, and then says that he doesn't want to be in a relationship anymore. This is like March of this year. Says that he doesn't want to be in a relationship anymore. He realizes that he wants to be single, and he just wants to go and live the single life. And I said, like, what made you like come up with this conclusion? Like all of a sudden, you know, like you told me back in November that you wanted to be serious and you weren't trying to play games and you were done with the single life. And he was like, yeah, that's just my decision and that's what I want. So I was like, all right. Find out from his friends a couple weeks after. His friend contacts me and tells me like, hey, I just want you to know, like, don't waste your time with him. Like the whole time you guys are together.
Was it a girl or a guy? I'm just curious.
A guy.
All right.
A guy. He was like, don't waste your time with him. The whole time he's been in a relationship with you, he's been cheating on you. And he told us, hey, just make her think that we're in a relationship when you hang out with her. I told her we're in a relationship. Let her believe that. So his friend told me all that. And I was just like, what the heck? And then he told me that he was cheating on me the entire time. So
that must have really hurt.
Oh yeah. 100%. Okay. Especially like me giving this guy another chance after he came back to me the second time. Like with like confidence. Like I wanted to like trust him, you know, and like just give it a shot. But then when he did that to me, I just felt like betrayed.
Yeah.
And I felt like played and manipulated. And when I called him out on that, I eventually like reached out to him and I was like, hey, like, you know, the whole time, like you were cheating on me in the relationship and, you know, what's going on? He was like, I'm sorry, you deserve better. Maybe you should just put the energy that you're giving into me into like someone that does deserve you, because I'm not deserving of you. But like weeks, months before, he was telling me that he loves me. Like I was the best girlfriend he ever had.
How did that make you feel when you said that about you should find someone more deserving of you?
I don't even know what that means because...
Well, it doesn't mean anything, but I'm just curious how it made you feel. Because it affected you and you paid attention to it and you listened to that. But I'm just curious how it made you feel.
I kind of just like didn't believe it.
Well,
because
good.
because I feel like if someone tells you that, it's like, okay, then like what's wrong with me? Like if you think like I'm this awesome person and I'm just like so good and not deserving of, if you're not deserving of me, like why are you then pushing me away? And
well, I mean,
it just didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, a couple things. One, like he just sounds like he sucks, right? So there's that. But from a more general standpoint, for anyone listening, like we all have a hard time, and it's our egos. I talk about ego a lot. But like you can be all those things: great, kind, wonderful, beautiful, great mother, smart, intelligent. But that doesn't make you the right person for everyone just because you're great, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like.
Right.
You can be simultaneously amazing in general and not right for anyone at the same time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, because we want this person who's saying that we're awesome and amazing, we oversimplify and think, well, then why don't you want me? You know, or what else do you want me to do? But that's just something people say because they don't want to feel like the bad guy in the moment.
Yeah, I kind of felt like he was just kind of saying that to just make me feel bad. I don't know.
I don't think he really gave a shit about how you felt, to be honest. Like if this is the type of person who can, you know, it's one thing to cheat and lie and as humans we're kind of weak, just weak people, and it's easy for us to lie to ourselves, et cetera, and you know, good people can do bad things. But this is a guy who vocalize and verbalize to his friends his plan in a way, this kind of Machiavellian, like, I want her to believe this so I can get what I want out of her, but just so you know, like, that's not what's going on, et cetera, et cetera. It takes a special kind of shitty person to do that.
Yeah.
And I think you just need to be careful about not judging yourself, because once in a while, listen, there are shitty, selfish people out there who, whatever bullshit they're going through or attachment disorders, and I'm not trying to diagnose this guy other than he sucks, right?
Yeah.
And that's all you really need to know. And once you know he sucks and he's capable of doing things you would never want anyone to do to anyone, or certainly to yourself, and you take pride in how that, I'm assuming you take pride in the fact that you wouldn't do that to someone, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
once you can feel like, I wouldn't do that to anyone, I wouldn't even want my enemy to want to do that to me, then that's all the information you need about someone to say, I don't give a shit about what he says. This is someone who's like...
So I think what's confusing to me is, like, I told you from the beginning, like the second time around when I took you back, why, well, I said, like, don't play games. Like, I'm looking for something serious. And if you are, like, I'm not interested. Like, I don't want to talk to you. And he's like, no, like, I'm serious. And then, like, the whole time he's cheating on me. And supposedly there was like 3 other women. And his friend told me, like, the reason why, like, we went out one night and he told his friends before I showed up, he was like, hey, this one thinks.
Yeah. He sucks. But, like, here's the thing. Here's what you can, when you're telling the story, a little alarm went off for me, right? Because you told me how you're dating this guy, and then he ghosted you. And, you know, not that ghosting is okay, but it's becoming, unfortunately, more of a norm with everyone. And so you called him out. He made up some bullshit excuse about cell phone reception and fighting fires, and clearly he wasn't doing that for a month. And then when he reached back out, tried to address the situation. Good for you. And you set some boundaries about like what you want and what you don't want. And without really giving it some thought, he was like, oh, no, I want that. And I want that with you. You're the only person I think I can have that with. Well, don't you think those two things don't really, that doesn't match, right? Some guy who a month ago had no problem ghosting you, right? And now a month later, nothing's happened between the two of you in between, but now he's sure that you're the one he wants to be with. That's a bit extreme.
So I'll go in specific as far as like the time frame. So when he ghosted me, that was in the beginning of July. And then he contacted me towards the end of August, but that's when I was still distant. I was talking to other guys and didn't respond. And then in November of that year is when like we officially like talked on the phone and was like, okay, like,
yeah, so
we'll give it a shot.
From July to November, nothing really happened between the two of you.
We never saw each other.
That would give him a justifiable reason to be able to say to you, I know that you're the person I want to start being serious with. But you didn't go, wait, that doesn't make sense. You were just like, well, that's so great to hear. I said what I want. So hard to say. It's so hard to put myself out there. So hard to set boundaries. We talk about this all the time. And you got the answer you wanted, even though that answer was a little too much, right? He kind of overpromised, right? And it sounded like an overpromise. There was no, the right answer would be to say, I hear you. Thanks for letting me know. I know I fucked up, and I know I have all these reasons why, but if you're willing to take a risk on me, I'd like to start getting to know you, but just know that I do want to commit to trying to get to know you. But he didn't say that. Yeah. He was like, you're the only person I could see myself being a better person for. That's just a line. That's just bullshit. You can look back on what you could have done or seen differently and just pay attention to what he says. It didn't add up, right?
Yeah.
Like an alarm bell should have gone off in your head being like, I mean, that was so nice to hear, but like, how does he know? Well,
that's why I told him like, okay, we'll take things slow. And that's why we were like friends for like a good month. And then end of December, we made it official because he said he's not talking to anyone else. He wants to, make it official with me. And then in March, we tell each other, I told him that I love him. And then he told me the same, that he loves me. And then April comes out with this. And I'm just like, how do you go from like saying that you love me to then now like saying, you know what, I just want to live the single life now. It's just like, whoa, like what changed? And actually
nothing changed, right? Because you know the truth, right? The truth is he never really stopped.
He never loved me. Well, yeah. And,
sure, yeah, because he only, but all that changed is he got tired of lying, right? He got tired of trying to hide it from you. He was always living the single life. He just got tired of pretending to want the same life that you had. So he just got tired of lying. Nothing changed, and yes.
That makes sense.
I'm sorry that, you developed feelings for a guy who was probably only capable of loving himself at this point, right? And he was incredibly selfish, and he was manipulative, and obviously that damaged you and hurt you. And there's not much you can really get from that. Just, you just have to accept that you were hurt and that you were played and all those things, and try to just forgive yourself. And there's really nothing to forgive, but you just kind of feel stupid and let on.
Yeah.
And how could you believe that this happened to me? And I would not try to get any answers from him. Like, what, is there a sense from you that you want closure or answers from him, or why did you do this?
No, because when I tried to do that with him like 2 weeks ago, all he could say is, I'm sorry. You deserve better. That's all. He never even admitted to cheating when I called him out on it. He literally just said sorry. There was like some times where like I did suspect cheating, and I just like held my tongue and left it alone. I was like, I just need to trust him, and I just like need to just like not say anything and just like let it go. And then, like, I said, like, I just need to trust him, and I just like need to just like not say anything and just like let it go. And then, like, I said, like, I just need to trust him, and I just like need to just like not say anything and just like let it go. And then, like, I said, like, I just need to trust him, and I just like need to just like not say anything and just like let it go. And then, like, I said, like, I just need to trust him, and I just like need to just like not say anything and just like let it go. And then, like, I said, like, I just need to trust him, and I just like need to just like not say anything and just like let it go. And then, like, I said, like, I just need to trust him, and I just like need to just like not say anything and just like let it go. And then, like, I said, like, I just need to trust him, and I just like need to just like not say anything and just like let it go. And then, like, I said, like, I just need to trust him, and I just like need to just like not say anything and just like let it go. And then, like, I said, like, I just need to trust him, and I just like need to just like not say anything and just like let it go. And then, like, I said And I guess I just should have just trusted my gut because it
Yeah.
came out at the end that he was.
Listen,
And
I have no doubt that you have a lot of love to give someone, right? And I have no doubt that you're anxious to give that person all this love that you so much want to give someone, but you can't love someone for the both of you, right? And you were it's just like, well, and that's in a way like why you're still kind of persistent. It's just like, because I loved him so much and I was willing to give so much, right? And that was kind of making up for what he wasn't giving you. And you got to let that go. I mean, you never should ever say to yourself or to friends or to strangers that you love him. You can accept that you loved him or that you felt love, but again, focus on the fact that you never really had a chance to love him because he never really showed you who he truly was. And so you just need to stop creating that narrative in your head, because that's going to be what puts you at risk of taking him back, someone you know isn't good for you, that you don't want to end up with. And that if you do say yes to him, he's only going to hurt you again, like 100%, not 99%, like 100%.
right.
So
Yeah, no, you're right.
So you got to let that go. And I know it's sad and it doesn't say anything bad about you. Like, you should be happy that you have so much love to give someone, but give it to someone who deserves it, right? And it doesn't say anything about you that you got played or manipulated you. You're not a fool or a dummy or you shouldn't have known better. Like, yeah, you could have been better at looking at the signs. And when those signs show up, don't tell yourself, don't ignore it, and don't say like, well, I love him and there's no way if I love him this much, he wouldn't do this to me. And your self-worth isn't based off of love that people give you. Your self-worth is love, how much love you give yourself. I'm so reluctant to say this, but there's some narcissistic tendencies going on with this guy. Most specifically, not so much that he lied, manipulated, and cheated, but it's more the grandiose gesture of, I know this is you now. I know you're the one person I want to be with, which is insane, right? And people who are narcissistic have kind of make really grand proclamations and statements and love bomb and things like that. And either way, like, that's not, who cares whether he is or isn't, but there were plenty of signs that told you this guy wasn't who he says he was, and he didn't want what he said he wanted. You just weren't listening.
Yeah, and I think the main thing you said was he was tired of like lying and hiding things because he was cheating on me, and he knew I was probably catching on to it, and that's why he wanted to just break up.
Yeah, and that was probably the most honest thing he's ever said to you.
Yeah.
And that's what you should listen to.
Right.
And if he does change, it won't be for a very long time. And it won't be without therapy, and it won't be without, a lot of self-reflection. And
that's the thing too. He said that he enrolled in therapy but never went to a therapy session.
And that's great, but like, people like, oh, I went to therapy. Just because you signed up for therapy or saw a therapist for like 4 or 5 times doesn't mean you change. That shit takes years.
Right.
It takes time. So you got to let this go. And I guess, again, I've already said this, but the biggest takeaway is never say to yourself or anyone else that you love him. Because you're done with that, and that's holding you back.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Nick.
All right. Well, best of luck. You're going to be okay. I know it's tough, but all the power is in your court. Just give yourself the power and recognize it and take it back, and you're going to be okay.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. What's your name?
Nicole.
Hi, Nicole. How old are you?
I am 39 and live in Iowa.
Awesome. How can I help?
Discovered your podcast via TikTok, and it's been a lifesaver these past couple of weeks. So.
Great to hear.
So would you like me to start from this beginning with this person?
Yep.
It's been ongoing. Okay. So I met him on a dating app in January of 2019. Hit it off really well. A lot in common. Kind of was in that talking stage for pretty much all of 2019. Anytime I would bring up being exclusive, it was he just didn't have time. He's just busy with school. He's a teacher. So
How old is he?
30. When we met, he was 30. So we're about a 5-year age difference.
Okay.
And understood that, kind of always made excuses for not being able to hang out on the weekends. He needed to have time with his family, worked on a farm, this and that. Would always ask, hey, where are we at? What are we doing? We're still in the talking stage, but it's more, we'll get there. Okay, cool. Well, right before Christmas that year, I got a snap from him, and I thought it was just a normal chat, hey, what's up? And it was a screenshot of a text message between him and this other woman saying that they were boyfriend, girlfriend, and had been for a couple months. And she was making sure that he was legit with her. And of course, he's saying, yes, I was. You're the only one.
He sent this
to her. Yeah.
But he like accidentally sent it to you?
No. She hacked his Snapchat account and sent it to myself and probably numerous other women on his Snapchat.
Okay, sure.
So it was a screenshot of her message with her phone number. And of course, I was trying to figure out what the hell was going on. So I texted her and said, who is this? What's going on? She told me her name and that they had been boyfriend, girlfriend for a couple months, and she just didn't feel like something was right. So we chatted, got an earful that he was in love with her and was going to move to where she lived, which is about an hour from where I'm at. Met her kid, wanted to start life with her. So obviously I was a little devastated and shocked with that, and cut off ties with him for about a week. And then he messaged me on Christmas saying, Merry Christmas. Started kind of talking a little bit. He said he was broke. He's broken and he messed up and wanted to.
Did he know? Did he know that you had this conversation at this point?
Mm-hmm.
He did.
Yeah.
You brought it up to him, or what? How did it happen?
She was actually at his house while he was at a game. And so she did this while being at his place.
Okay.
So when he came home, he figured out what happened. I also spouted off some profanities towards him.
And did she leave him?
So no, she also stayed with him.
Okay.
So New Year's Eve comes, New Year's Eve, they go do their thing. New Year's morning at 7 a.m., I start getting blown up messages from him that it's over with her and I'm messed up, I'm broke, this and that.
Broke as in like emotionally broke, not financially?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I asked him like, wow, do you need some money? He's like, no, I'm not, I'm okay financially. And a few days go by, we're talking, and I'm at home, I'm in bed, this is like a Saturday morning, and I get a FaceTime from him. So I perk up, I'm like, hey, it is him and her on his couch, and just sitting there. And we have this apparently coming to Jesus talk. I was blindsided by that because he had said that she was no longer in the picture, but she said she met his parents that night before. That was should have been a premonition to what 2020 was going to be like.
Okay.
For me. So after that.
So like the three of you having this weird FaceTime conversation.
Yeah.
Is it like a 2 against 1 kind of thing?
I don't know what her intentions were. It was, I think, making to see what his reaction, and if he was actually going to tell the truth at some point.
Gotcha.
Having both of us. But that's just not my style. I'm not going to gang up on somebody, and I'm not going to.
Sure.
I mean, I started to cry because I was just upset at the whole situation that I was put in.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, she just unleashed and was.
On you?
It was, yeah. And
but
then unleashed on him.
What did you do wrong in her eyes?
Because I was still in communication with him, but I didn't know that they were still together. I was told that they weren't together.
Yeah, I mean, he's just playing you guys off each other, right?
Yeah.
So what's your question? Where are you at?
So where we're at now, I left the situation, We got back together talking in April of last year. Talk, text, snap, whatever, every day.
So wait, hold on. This threesome phone call happened, and then you stopped talking, and then you started talking again?
Yeah.
And how did that start, and why?
He added me back on Snapchat.
Uh-huh.
And said, hey, I miss you. I'm miserable. I wanted to reach out to you so many times just to talk about anything in general. And I fell for it.
What were you doing in between the FaceTime threesome phone call and when you reached out? Were you dating? Were you just hurting and waiting?
Yeah, I was focusing a lot on my job. That was keeping me pretty busy, along with some family. And I have been working on myself as far as I've gone to therapy. I'm diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder and major depression. So for me, it was a step back to try and regroup and focus on myself. I did drink a lot, I'm not gonna lie, during those few months as well. But yeah, I thought I was good. And then he came back with the, I'm sorry, I messed up. I want you in my life again. We always had good conversations, that kind of thing. And I went for it. Saw him. He said he wanted to have a serious talk over the summer, which we did. And, his words were he wanted to build with me and he wanted to be upfront and honest with me and make more time for me, which I thought was, okay, now we're heading in a better direction. Maybe he's changed. Didn't see him until...
What made you think he changed? Just because, because this seems to be a pattern of him saying how bad he's doing without you periodically, which he also said way back when.
Mm-hmm.
So like what changed in your mind? Just hope?
Yeah.
You just
hope.
Okay.
I thought I like to see the good in people, or at least try to. And I thought that he had changed and that going through what I went through with him, said it broke him and he was broken into a million pieces. And I believed that.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was genuine. Fast forward to where we're at now. Mother's Day weekend. I was having doubts where he was. The communication on the weekends would be little to none. He said he was always at his parents' house, on the farm, this and that, which I believed. So I had nothing else to worry about. But I tried to call him out Sunday and say, where were you? Were you at your parents? And he snapped back with, yes, I was at my parents'. It was Mother's Day weekend. I know where I was. Okay. Left it at that. Monday morning, there was always this person's name that was in his phone that was on a text. And when I would ask him about her, it was a buddy from college. And I looked her up on Facebook and her relationship status was in a relationship, but it didn't have with anybody's name on it. I Facebook messaged her and asked who she was in a relationship with. And she wasn't very forthcoming. So I had to give her the name and send her a screenshot of a pic of him. And she came back with that they had been together, boyfriend, girlfriend, for the past 5 years. And wanted to know how long I had been talking to him. And I said 2.5 years. And yeah.
Okay. So where are you now?
I'm in a weird spot because I have feelings for him and it's hard to just turn them off. But
what are these feelings and what is hard to turn off?
being in love with somebody that I guess I thought was this great guy.
How long have you thought he was a great guy? And why?
Because he would tell me he was.
Sure,
but
awesome. What did he show you? I mean, listen, I think it just you're still going to therapy, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Great, awesome. That takes time.
Yeah.
You just seem like
I'm an impatient person too, so
yeah.
it does take a lot of time.
And listen, you're lacking a little confidence and you're a little feel down in your luck. And I think, you just keep going to therapy, but you need to and I know it's easier said than done, but you kind of have to start giving yourself some tough love, and stop feeling sorry for yourself a little bit and stop giving him so much power and control over your happiness. You've basically given him the keys to your happiness and saying here, you're in charge whether I'm happy or not. Mm-hmm. And I guess I'll just wait around for you to make me happy. And no one, even in the healthiest relationship, should be at the mercy of their partner for being in total control of their happiness. You need to be able to find happiness within yourself, and whether that's through your own hobbies or friends or just feeling your best self. And that's great that you recognize that you have social anxiety disorder, or that maybe you drank a little bit too much. But if you can recognize it, then you have a chance to do something about it. And maybe that's AA or whatever. And I know these things are difficult and they take time, but you just start looking in the mirror and saying I need to ask more of myself. I need to be in charge of my happiness. I need to stop giving, the keys out to other people and expecting them to make me happy. Right? Because you say things like, I thought I was in love with him. You weren't. He's not. We've talked about this already in this episode in terms of love is reciprocated. There's what you say, I thought he was, you stop confusing hope with I thought, right? You say I thought, and that implies that there were reasons for you to think something, that there was evidence to suggest that you had a reason to think something. You were given data, and that data tell you, well, based on the data I have, I should be able to think this. And he gave you literally no data, nothing. So what did you do? You hoped. And you said hope was enough for you to think, right? I can hope I won $1 million, but I have no reason to think I'm going to leave, the studio and buy a lottery ticket and win. I can hope all I want, but that doesn't give me any reason I have a chance to do that, right?
Yeah.
Right? And you're confusing hope with actual evidence that you should think. So you got to, little things like changing your wording to yourself and what you say to yourself. Stop saying, I thought this, because you didn't think that. You hoped that. And that hope got you into a rut of constantly waiting on him and giving him all this power, right?
Yeah.
I think you need to allow yourself to be a little bit mad at yourself, and that's okay. And face that. And don't dwell on it. Don't let ruminate in it. You can be angry with yourself and not feel sorry for yourself at the same time. And anger allows you to say, I know I'm better than this. I can expect more from myself. I can expect more respect. And I had a lot of information to expect, so I could, but I just kept ignoring myself. I didn't take the keys back. He gave me all this information. These other women gave me this information, but I wanted to win. I wanted to be the one he loved the most out of all these women. I wanted him to choose me, and all these things that allowed yourself to keep going down this rabbit hole. And you had literally had no information to go on. So stop giving him so much credit by saying you loved him, right? Stop saying he was he was never a great guy, ever. At times, he might have been able to pretend he was a great guy. He might have been able to seem like he was a great guy in moments, but what he is a liar and a manipulator and a deceitful person who apparently needs to do this with multiple people. I mean, this guy's a goddamn mess. He's dangerous and he's been dangerous to you. But you've allowed this to go on so long and you admitted to this mess. I'd like you to just start convincing yourself that you are capable. You are. You're a young, beautiful person and you have a lot, just But you have to start expecting more for yourself. You have to stop feeling sorry for yourself, and you have to, like, you know, take those keys back, and you got to start being in charge of your own happiness, and you can do that. And you got to say no to this guy, stop making excuses for him, completely cut him off, stop stop allowing someone, just because he feels bad or he can be broken without you. He'll figure it out. It's not your job to make him happy. You can't possibly make this guy happy. I don't know what's going to make this guy happy. It's not going to be you. It's not going to be anyone else.
Right.
And you can't get happiness from trying to make him happy or trying to win.
And I think that's been the hardest thing, is that my personality is that if I want to make everybody happy.
But you got to make you're not happy. How can you make
Right.
anyone else happy if you're not happy? Doesn't, you know, you need to be able
to gifts and understanding to him, and like you said, not reciprocating anything ever. I hate saying I missed all the red flags, you know, never got taken out on a date.
Yeah. Well, there you go. You need to start loving yourself, expecting more for yourself, being a little bit more selfish. Like I think, quite honestly, when you say, like, I just want to make everyone happy, it's because you're too afraid to make yourself happy and focus on yourself. And you feel like you need someone else in your life to make you feel happy, and you don't, right? And you got to change that narrative in your mind that you somehow need someone to make you feel happy. There's so many things that you can do to take pride in, you know, cutting down the drinking, working on your mental health, being your best physical self. Find a hobby, a passion that you're into that you take pride in, whether it's work or outside of work or things that you can do for your friends. So many things that you can take pride in. Start finding things that you can be proud of yourself for that have only to do with you, and really focus on that, and then be very selective who you allow in your world, right? And don't let their sad stories or their own, you know, you need someone who's strong and doesn't need fixing and doesn't need help. And like, they can be sad if you leave them, but, like, you know, especially don't fall for someone who is broken because of their own choices. You know, like, he was like, oh, I'm broken, I need you, I've changed. It's just like, well, you know, change, great. But, like, I can't, not for me, right? You had your shot, you know, and you just kept waiting around for him. So
I was committed in a non-committed relationship.
Yeah.
Or not in a relationship.
You just need to be really committed to yourself. You've really been ignoring your own needs and yourself, and you really haven't been prioritizing yourself or loving yourself. And again, the biggest thing is you made him responsible for feeling all the love that you wanted to feel. And you have to be responsible for that more than anyone else. And until you can do that, then you're going to be seeking out people who he liked that. He liked that power of feeling like he was in charge of you feeling loved. You got to find that within yourself. So stay with the therapy, you know, challenge yourself. It's okay to be sad, but don't let yourself pity yourself. You know, start changing your narrative in your head. I can do this. I'm capable. I'm strong. Like, you know, kind of those mantras, like, actually say that out loud into yourself and believe it. Cause you can, you just, you got to give yourself some tough love, and stop with the kind of the self-pity, and stay the course with some of this other stuff, and cut out all the toxic things in your life.
Start fresh in June.
Yeah, that's fine. So, all right. You're going to be okay.
Well,
you're still young. You have a lot, you know, like, don't go backwards, go forwards. I know, you know, I've said this before, but, like, stick with it, and you're going to be okay. But I promise you have so much control of the situation that you don't want to take on. You know,
it's hard for me to even just delete them.
Yeah, do that. Stop fucking being a backseat driver. Like, you know, be the driver in your own life. Stop letting other people, you know, be in control of the direction your life goes. Get behind the wheel, start taking charge. And that it's really up to you. All right.
Yeah, I can do that.
All right. I believe in you.
Well, thanks for the input. Like I said, I've been watching your TikToks and your words, and today really helped. Well,
I really appreciate it, but, like, it's on you. Like, stop. It's you have this control. Okay.
Got it.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
How's it going?
Good. How are you?
So Great. Thanks for asking. How can I help?
I'm Crystal. I'm 24, and I've been dating this guy casually for 2 months, and I'm just kind of wanting to know, he still has dating apps, and I'm kind of wanting to take that step forward, but I'm not quite ready to be his girlfriend. So like, but I don't want him to have these dating apps anymore because it doesn't make me feel great.
So your only concern is getting him off dating apps?
And kind of just being like only wanting to date me, I guess, or like having that conversation about being more exclusive, but not wanting him or like leading him to believe I want to be his girlfriend because I'm not ready for that either. Does that make sense?
Well, I mean, yes, the question makes sense, but I'm trying to make sense of what actually you want and trying to figure out why you're not ready to be his girlfriend, but you also want to limit his ability to keep dating.
Well, I don't know. I guess maybe I am ready. I'm just kind of like talking myself out of it. So I feel like maybe I'm like,
if he, called you up and be like, hey, I think you're amazing. Will you want to be my girlfriend? What would you say?
Yes.
Okay, so then you want him to be your boyfriend. That's okay. Why are you trying to talk yourself out of it?
I think just because I'm not sure if like I've been holding myself back in what like the relationship we've had so far, just because like we've been dating other people, so there's not been like 100% towards him. Where I feel like maybe there should be at least a little bit of time that's 100% towards figuring out if this relationship could work before there's like that title on it.
I mean, titles, whatever, You're not asking him to marry you. You're not even asking him to get engaged. No. And, I'm living proof that you can get engaged. It doesn't mean all that much. That all being said, yeah, like you've been dating for 2 months. How much are you guys hanging out?
Like once or twice a week.
Once or twice a week? Are you hooking up?
Yeah. Yeah.
And he is on the dating apps because you've asked him about it, or like you see him out there still like Eric?
No, we were cooking dinner one time and I had the recipe on his phone because he's the one that had pulled it up, and a notification. It's like new Tinder match.
Okay.
So
have you suggested?
I haven't really asked about it.
Have you had any conversations whatsoever?
No.
He hasn't said anything like, I'm not looking for a girlfriend right now, or
nothing like that. No, like no we're just kind of like going with the flow, I guess you could call it.
Okay. Well,
so is it like weird for me to bring it up?
You're asking if it's weird?
Yeah.
No, it's a little scary, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like I've said this, I don't think you should ask. I think you should tell him what you want.
Yeah.
And
that makes sense.
And don't be passive. Like, say what you want, and what you don't want. You don't really care about the dating apps. I mean, you care, but that's implied with the like.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I like you. I want to be exclusive with you. I don't want to see other people. I hope you feel the same way about me.
Yeah.
If he says yes, then you're like, great, awesome, and then invoke some trust that if he's going to say yes, is going to like get off the dating apps.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
But like finding one thing that is going to, like, oh, I don't want to ask him to be my boyfriend yet, but I want him to get off dating apps because that will give me a sign that I should feel more comfortable to eventually ask him to be my boyfriend. But I'm just going to like, just do the dating app thing. Because I'll be honest, that to me, saying I like you and I want you to be my boyfriend sounds better and sounds healthier than telling him what you don't want him to do. It kind of comes across as a bit controlling. I don't want you to go on dating apps. I don't want you to, like,
yeah.
Like, especially if you say things like, it's just like you first called up and said, well, I don't want to be boyfriend and girlfriend yet. That's nuts. But I do want to stop him from being able to go on dating apps. So I want to control him without being able to commit to him. Weirdly enough, that's not even what you want, but that's kind of what you were wanting to say, right? So think
I
about
just didn't know how to phrase
No,
my
I
question.
know, but think about how confusing that can be, especially when
Yeah.
you're trying to start a relationship, and the kind of mindset you can present to him of being someone who wants to control his actions without wanting to commit, which is literally the exact same thing you don't want him to do to you.
Yeah.
So just get some courage and say, I like you. We're having a great time. Don't ask. Just say, how does it feel? How do you think about this? None of that crap, you know?
Okay.
I think you're great. I'm having such a great time with you. I want to keep doing more of this. I want to hang out with you like more than once or twice a week. And I like you enough to want to stop dating other people. And if he doesn't say, if he's like, well, I don't know, like, I like you, but, like, if he says but, pay very close attention to that, because but is his answer. If he says but, that means he's not on the same page. If he says but, now, that doesn't mean he likes you. He just might. How old is he?
26.
Okay, so he's, like, right in that kind of wheelhouse of, there's a good chance he's, like, enjoying making money and having some freedom and you know, being a bit of a fuckboy, whatever, right? And sometimes we have, and sometimes we just have to, like, take the fuck boy out of him, right?
Yeah.
By showing him that you're not like everyone else, and everyone else is going to hear but and go, oh, well, I tried, but, like, let's keep hanging out and having sex. And like I said before, just be chill, right? Oh, and then pay attention when he says but, right? Just know that that's not what he certainly doesn't want it as much as you. Now, it doesn't mean he can't get there, but he's only going to get there by you accepting his answer and then not giving him more than you're willing to give and accepting less than you want. So you just say, all right, well, I understand. I'm bummed. I am. But, like, sorry, like, we definitely should probably, like, slow this down. And no matter what he says afterwards, well, why do you gotta, don't let him accuse you. If he starts accusing you of things, like, well, why do you gotta be like that? Be like what? Be like someone who, like, knows what they want and doesn't want to feel confusion or go on dating apps. I'm like, listen, I'm not judging you. It's totally cool that you want to go out and date, and that's fine. But, like, what else is there to do? You know, like, we're having sex.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to worry about having to get an STD test or, like, honestly, like, safe sex, but, like, maybe, you know, like, no condoms kind of thing, you know, but, like, you definitely shouldn't do that if you don't know if he's not sleeping with other people.
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
and I don't want to worry about that. And I don't think you want to worry about that either. So,
No, I don't think so.
Just pay very close attention when you, because you're going to say, I believe in you. You're going to be like, this is what I want. And then pay attention to what he says. And if he says, I like you, but, then don't try to convince him, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just be like, okay, great. But it doesn't change what I want. But that's okay.
Yeah.
Let me know if you change your mind. Bye. And just keep it, like, and then he'll, like, it'll fuck him up a little bit and he'll reach out back and just, he's
I feel like he'll be shocked that you're not trying to convince them.
Yes.
Almost.
He will. Now you got to be
Be like,
careful
"Wait, what?"
because he's going to come back regardless if that's what he wants either way.
Yeah.
But you just really got to pay attention to what he says.
That's good advice.
There's no, like, it's really simple, right? This is not a complicated thing. You just want him to not date other women, and you want him to, like, call you his girlfriend, you know? Or, like, you know, like, if it's, you know, if he's one of those guys who, like, well, you know, girlfriend, why do you put a label on it? Like, fine. I don't want you to date other women, and I don't want to date other guys. I want a commitment. And that's, like, it's been 2 months. You've been hanging out on a regular basis. You've been sleeping with each other. You can always break up. Listen, if it doesn't work out, we'll break up. Like, I'm not asking you to marry me. Don't let him overcomplicate it. Don't let him make you feel like you're asking a lot, because you're not.
Okay.
Right?
I guess, yeah, that's definitely, I felt like I'm, like, asking for, like, kind of like you're saying, like, I'm not asking him to marry me, but that's kind of how it feels asking it, because it's scary.
Sure, I totally get it, but it shouldn't be. I mean, like,
no, yeah, I agree.
What happened? Where did we get so much access through dating apps to date other people that, like, not fucking other people was, like, a lot to ask?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right? But
yeah,
So when you say it, there's like, I mean, he's a 26-year-old dude who's on dating apps. He's probably going to be like, oh, fuck. The ride's over. All right. And so he's going to be like, ugh, you know?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean he can't get there. But, you know, just be chill about it. And you'll figure it out. Anything else? Are we good? Let's see. We've been skiing and hiking and making dinner together.
Oh, just saying that we've done a lot of stuff together.
Yeah.
Like we're not just hooking up. Like we actually go on like dates and do stuff.
Exactly. It's like I don't have. How do you have the energy to do that with more than one person?
I don't know.
Right?
I don't.
Yeah, there you go. So
Perfect.
there you go. And yeah, if he doesn't give you the answer you want, then he's not who you want. He's not who you think he might be. You know, that's the thing. It's like we spend all this energy being afraid of what they might say, and yet you say you want him to be your boyfriend. Well, why do you want him to be your boyfriend if he's not going to give you the answer that you want? I mean, clearly the person you want to date wants to date you.
Yep, that was easy.
So
just right there to the point.
All right, you're going to be okay, but yeah, just do that. Just don't overcomplicate it, and don't let them make you think that you're asking more than what you are.
I can do that.
All
Thank
right?
you.
And don't try to convince him of anything.
I won't do that.
Yeah,
I promise.
It'll make him feel powerful, and we don't want him to feel powerful right now.
No, we don't.
I mean, unless he's your boyfriend, then you can give him all the power.
Okay.
All right.
I'll keep that in mind.
All right. Best
Thank
of
you
luck.
so much.
All right. Take care.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Well, what a great episode. Thanks for listening, everybody. I hope we helped save your life. I'm talking to all the people who called in. I appreciate you guys calling in. And for those of you listening, hopefully you found this beneficial, if nothing else, entertaining. We always appreciate you listening. Don't forget to send your questions at asknick@castmedia.com, cast with a K. And if there's nothing else, we will see you tomorrow.